This episode is brought to you by you. This spot could be yours, so contact Ces the Teacher at gmail.com. Greetings. I am Ces of teacherces.com. Thank you for being with me again, or rather, thank you for being here together. We're together for the very first episode, and we are going to have a great time. If you haven't subscribed to the show right now, please, I ask of you to do so. I would greatly appreciate a moment of your time. We have a lot in store for you this season, and I would be so grateful if you subscribed. I hope that together we can learn a little something, and if you listen, it would be awesome that you like, comment, and subscribe. So let's jump right on into our topic for today. And that's a story I have to tell about making some money last summer. I was making up to $100 extra weekly using the website Reddit. Now, if you're not familiar with Reddit, maybe you've heard of it or maybe you're not quite sure with it, then we're going to get into it a little later exactly what Reddit is, because myself, I had heard of it, but I stumbled upon it and got to really know it and love it and gain a little familiarity with it as time progressed. So I came late to the Reddit train because I did not realize it had been around for a while. Back in 2005, Reddit was started by Steve Huffman and Alexis Ohanian, whose name might ring a bell because he is the husband of Miss Serena Williams, tennis legend. Reddit is known as the front page of the internet, and it truly has something for just about anyone. Now, going back to that catchphrase, the front page of the internet, I'm not gonna lie, I had to Google exactly what that meant. I'm like, what do you mean the front page of the internet? I'm thinking of like a newspaper, etc. But it just goes on to play with, it really does have something for anyone in regards to what your interest is and what topics are interesting to you. We're going to get more into that a little later. All right. Currently, Reddit has 1.6 billion page views each month, and it is now one of the largest websites in the world. Not the largest, but one of the largest websites in the world. So when you get onto the Reddit page, it is www.reddit.com. It looks a little, what I think might be perceived as old school. There's not a lot of fancy graphics, and I remember when I first got on Reddit last summer, it looked a little intimidating to me. I was like, what is this? Where are my pictures? I don't know if I'm feeling this or not. But I implore you to please proceed, because once you sign in or sign up, like I said before, it really is the front page of the internet because there is something for everyone. And that goes into the topic of subreddits. How do subreddits work, you might ask? Well, let me tell you. Subreddits are basically the topics. They have something for everyone. So, for example, if you enjoy travel, there's a subreddit called Travel. Social media, blogs, like I said, pretty much anything you can think of, there's a subreddit for. So when you find the subreddit that is of interest to you, the first thing you want to do, honestly, is watch and observe. You definitely want to gain familiarity with the rules of the page. The name is escaping me at the moment, but you can find that each page, for the most part, does have rules and what is allowed and what is not allowed, and they are strictly moderated. So just be cautious of that. If you're on the self-promotion tip and you're going there to try to plug something of yours, don't. You might be embarrassed because you can get upvoted and downvoted, and it's a whole bunch of different BS pertaining to Reddit. So you just want to watch and observe before you jump in. Definitely comment. There is a classy way you can promote yourself if you're cautious, but you definitely want to make yourself an expert at the topic and answer questions, be part of the community for a long while, until you jump into that. Now, going back to what my story about how I made $100 weekly last year, there is a subreddit called Slave Labor, which I have issues with the name, but I didn't make it up, so sometimes you just have to go with the flow. And Slave Labor is a subreddit that asks people for menial tasks and doing little things here and there. Can you write a review for Amazon? Can you do this? Can you type this up? Can you translate this in Chinese or Mandarin, etc., etc. And most of the jobs are low paying, meaning like $20 or less, but you have to get a start somewhere. So I got my start writing reviews for Amazon. I was receiving free products. All of them, quite honestly, were not products to write home about. A lot of, in my opinion, cheap products that came from China, manufactured in China, that were electronics. And I wrote reviews, for the products. A lot of these people were Amazon, I think the program's called Fulfilled by Amazon. Don't quote me, and if it's wrong in the show notes, I'll correct it. And those are basically independent contractors, probably not the best word, but people who are selling items independently on Amazon, and they want reviews to gain more, notoriety, customers, whatever word you're looking for. So I was writing reviews on the products. I got the products brand new, so for the most part, they gave favorable reviews. And even if the product sucked, let's keep it funky. Even if the product sucked, I'm still going to give you a decent review or a good review because you're giving me something for free. Is it ethical? No. But is that what I did? Yes. So, needless to say, it kept me very busy to the point where I actually had to do something I absolutely hate to do. Turn down money. Yes, turn down money because I was getting slightly overwhelmed. I had other things going on. At this time, I do have a full-time position, and I just was like, I can't. I'm sorry. I don't want to turn down your money, but I can't. And, I don't want to give, I have a good turnaround time, and I want to write each review, give each review my best, my all. And, if I knew I couldn't do it, I just simply had to say, sorry, I'm not the person for you right now. So, needless to say, that subreddit, slave labor, was very good to me last summer. In addition, there's another one called, I believe it's called Beer Money. That's pretty similar concept. On Reddit, that is great for a little extra dollar here and there. So that's my brief story on Reddit and how it was quite good to me. So if you have a Reddit story where you have made a little bit of money, I would love to hear from you. So in the next episode, I can share that to the crowd, and together we can gain a little knowledge. All right, so I heard you like to travel. And if that's the case, you're probably wondering how you can travel and save some money. Well, have you ever thought about taking Spirit Airlines? Yes, I said Spirit. Now, full disclosure, I have never taken Spirit Airlines. Not any particular reason other than I was warned not to by various people, except for one person did tell me it wasn't that bad, so I'm not even going to lie. I am quite the curious one. Now, if you're not familiar with Spirit Airlines, then you must be ballin'. No, I'm kidding. Now, if you're not familiar with Spirit Airlines, they are a discount-based airline. They have bare fares, which means that their services are priced a la carte. So oftentimes when you're doing Skyscanner or one of the online web searches for airfare and Spirit comes up first and you see these incredibly low prices, you're like, wow, that's cheap. You might fail to realize that is just the airfare that you see is just getting you from point A to point B. That does not include your baggage, carry-ons, drinks, food, seat selection, roomy seats, and the list goes on. Spirit is pretty upfront about their policies and rules, and if you choose not to follow the rules or pay up front, you will pay a considerable amount more, and they will upsell you and nickel and dime you for all it's worth. So definitely keep that in mind. So you must do your research before you prepare for your flight. It is a must unless you want to be nickeled and dimed. Even when you are checking out on their website, they will have various pop-ups that ask you if you want to include car rental, accommodations, easy fix, just say no, exit out, just keep going, etc. Spirit is also pretty notorious for having tons of flight delays with minimal human contact there at the airport to help you. So you definitely want to map out your flight, map out your day so you can handle delays. And I wouldn't use Spirit if you had a meeting or somewhere you absolutely had to be at a certain time. Space out your days accordingly. But they do fly throughout the United States, Central America, and South America. I've even read stories or reports on people using Spirit to get to Miami, to get to New York in order to fly internationally to Europe and Asia. Of course, they can't do that through Spirit, but they would use Spirit to get to that central location in New York and Miami, and from there take another airline to fly internationally. So that's always a bonus as well. Now, another thing that you should know about Spirit Airlines is that if you want to bring a regularly sized carry-on with you, you will have to pay. Spirit only allows a free personal item that has to fit a certain dimension. So that personal item can be anything from a purse to a backpack to a tote or any small item of that nature. So keep that in mind. If you want to find additional information about the sizes or the dimensions of your personal item, you can find it at www.spirit.com. Just keep in mind that you may or may not be able to get on with a purse and a backpack, multiple bags. It just depends on the boarding agent and how they are, willing they are to be following their rule or not. And, there are people who will be following that rule and people who won't. So, keep that in mind as well. You are charged for a carry-on bag. So it's best if you are going to be bringing a carry-on to pay for it, when you are booking your airfare. Check bags, of course. It's not Southwest. Your bags will not. They won't fly free. You're going to have to pay. So keep that in mind. So what are your experiences with Spirit? Because as you know, you're going to have to pay for food. And my favorite food hack is I love to, well, I won't necessarily say love, but what I do is I buy my food before I get to the airport, simply because usually the airport selections aren't to my liking and they're overpriced anyway. So I go to my local grocery store. Over here where I live, it's Harris Teeter. Get a sandwich, some chips, get no drink because they're going to make you throw it out, or bring an empty water bottle. And if you're feeling really cheap, get an empty water bottle and some Crystal Light. Get past that security, fill it up, mix in the Crystal Light. You're all good. Or another hack, and I shouldn't be telling you all this. I don't even think it's technically legal, but the shot size amounts of liquor, you can bring that on the airplane as long as you put it in a quart-sized bag and it's sealed, and you run it through the scanners at the TSA kiosk where you go through security. Now, you're not supposed to drink the alcohol once you get on the plane, but yeah. So hack. So at any rate, so, that's my hack, is I always bring my own food when I fly. So I would love to hear and read your Spirit experiences. Have they been good? Have they been bad? Have they been downright just ugly? You can share them here with me, and I will definitely read them aloud to the audience. So, yeah. All right, let's move on. Wow, we did it. You made it through the very first episode, and I am so glad you're still here with me. So, you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on my website, www.teacherces.com. You can find me on IG at Teacher. You can find me pretty much on all your social medias except Snapchat. I don't Snapchat. I don't get it. I don't. But anyway, I don't get it. Anyway, so yes, you can find me on my social media under Teacher Ces. And as always, like and leave a 5-star rating, or if there's something that I can improve on, you can send me an email. And that's it for today. So I cannot wait for you to join me again next time for another awesome episode. Have a fabulous week. See you again. Bye.